Hello everyone. So in this video we will complete the 4 and 5 experiments, okay, at a time. So now in the fourth one we have penetration testing. The fourth one we have penetration testing, a basic penetration test on a vulnerable system. So we will be using a vulnerable system as a metasploitable 2 as we discussed in the lab 1 2 video, and Kali machine as a attacker machine. Okay. So now, so I told you that experiment 4 and 5 will be done at a time. Okay. So why? In the fifth one, we are conducting a network scanning and the host enumeration using the Nmap. Okay. To get to know the Nmap, so we are using the metasploitable 2 only. Okay. So we are using the metasploitable 2 right now. This is the right now this is the environment that we are building. So we are using that Nmap tool on the environment to know how a Nmap will work. Okay. So we'll first go to a rapid 7 metasploitable 2. To download a metasploitable, open the rapid metasploitable 2. Here you will get the link to download metasploitable 2. So you can go to the Vuln Hub, that also contains the vulnerable machines. Okay, and also you can go to the Rapid 7 docs. So I have clicked on the Rapid 7 2, Rapid 7 docs. So here we have metasploitable 2 document. Okay, so now they have given the how to use the metasploitable, how to log in there, how to you get IP address, and enumerate that thing is already given here. Metasploitable, to download the metasploitable, just click on this thing. This will give the metasploitable machine download option. So this start downloading metasploitable Linux 2.0. Okay, as now I have already downloaded the metasploitable 2. I will teach you how to set up that. Okay, so here you can see the metasploitable 2. So right click on that, same thing you did for the Kali Linux. So right click on that, extract. So this will extract the metasploitable 2. In the metasploitable folder you will get a VMDK file. It's a virtual machine disk file. Okay, here you can see that once you download that file, once you download the metasploitable Linux 2.2 zip file, so it contains so many files here. It's a VMDK file. Okay, that will be used for the VMware also and the VirtualBox also. Okay, here we will now how to install it in the VirtualBox. Okay, as of now we will close the Kali Linux. So however it was started from the lab 1, so I'll turn it off. Go to the VirtualBox. Okay, I will also, okay, now we'll start it from the fresh. Okay, open the VirtualBox. Now click on the new. So for you, if it is looking like this, then this will be, yeah, uh, you will get the, you can see here when you click on the settings, basic is there and the expert is there. Basic will give you the some options, those are very basic. Okay, so that will make your virtual machine look like this. Okay, don't get confused. So just change the settings to expert mode, then you will get the menu like this. So type metasploitable, make sure that it is in a expert mode. Metasploitable 2, select the folder, we'll go to that folder where you have extracted. I have extracted in the lab experiment, so I'll select this thing, Linux system, other Linux 64-bit. Here in the second step, no need to set anything. Okay, now in the third step, it's already default 512 RAM. How many CPUs cores you need to assign, that is set to 1. Okay, let it be default. Third one is very important. Here we are selecting the virtual disk, so don't select the create a new virtual disk, select the second one, use an existing virtual hard disk file. Here we will be selecting that virtual disk using this selector icon. So here click on this icon, this will open the hard disk selector. Just refresh it and click on the add icon and choose vmdk file. Choose vmdk file that you have extracted. Okay, this file should be chosen, and again here double click on that file. Now you can see here metasploitable.vmdk file is visible. Okay, so this completes the setup. Once you finish it, you can see metasploitable here. Okay, metasploitable here. Now what we need to do for the 4 and 5 experiment, so right click on here, go to settings, network, select the bridge adapter. Okay, and then okay, first we need to start it in the NAT network. Okay, right now you can't do anything because it's in disk folder, right? So when we once we start, so this will extract that disk folder. So then it will be very easy to change the network. First we will start it as it is, then we will close it, we'll power it off. Okay, so now it is started. Now it is started, right? So I'll power it off. Close, click on the exit button, power it off. Go to settings here, go to network, change it to bridge adapter. Invalid. Okay. So for now, my adapter list is different. Okay. So what I will do, I will restart the virtual box. We'll check again. It should show wireless actually. No bridge network adapter is selected. Actually, it must show Wi-Fi. Okay. Wireless it should show. So disconnect and connect the Wi-Fi. We'll go again to the settings. Sometimes it happens. That's why I'm recording. No invalid settings detected. We'll again enable this and okay, same thing here also. Okay. So we'll debug this then. So if you are getting the bridge adapter, if nothing is showing like this invalid settings detected, then click OK for this thing, bridge adapter OK, and then right click settings. For this also change it to bridge adapter. OK. Okay. So if you are getting any problem in these settings, reinstall the virtual box. That's all. So in the network, okay, so we have successfully installed the Metasploitable to Kali Linux. So in the settings, we need to change the NAT to bridge adapter to make it come under in a subnet, to make it come under a network. Okay, so I have changed it to bridge adapter. Here also I will make this to bridge adapter. Okay. After making the bridge adapter, open the sorry, where is that? Okay. So after making the bridge adapter, open these two operating systems. So making the bridge adapter is very important to get the both operating systems into one network, so that we are able to interact with them easily. Now, so I'll start the Kali Linux and also the MSF, Metasploitable too. So in the Metasploitable, so first we need to understand how to get the IP addresses. Okay. So in the Metasploitable 2, so they have given here MS admin to get started. So in the login username, we need to give MSF admin. Password MSF admin. Blindly enter that and okay, click enter. Then this will open the MSF admin user. So now here it's a Linux system, so use the ifconfig or else IP space A. Okay. So ifconfig. So this will show you E0 adapter IP addresses and loopback address. Now you can see the IP address is changed here. Means when it was NAT, it will show 10 dot something. Now IP address. INET address is your IPv4. Okay. So the IP address here 192.168.1.28. After knowing that IP address 92.168.1.28, get back to your Kali Linux. In the Kali Linux, here, so here we are doing fifth experiment using that IP address. Okay, so in the fifth IP address, so we have two options. Okay, so one is using the Metasploitable 2, one is without using it. So actually when we use external IP address or external domain name, for example, if I can use the nmap google.com. Okay, I can use this, but sometimes what happens, because of the firewall that is set in the uh, college or a lab environment, that may detect it as a DDoS attack. Okay, continuous enumeration on the same domain name will make you drop the packets in the firewall only, or else intrusion detection system. So that's why, so we are taking the isolated metasploitable too. So we are targeting that thing only. So now in the fifth experiment, this is the fifth experiment, network scanning and the host enumeration. Network scanning. Nmap, it's a network mapper. So we use it in the ethical hacking. So it is used to network auditing. Okay. So to try to know what are there in the network. Actually, in the network, you can see here by default Nmap domain name or IP address will result a report like this. Okay, so it shows in how much time it is scanned, and also it will show you when it is started, and is the host is up. Host is nothing but this domain. Okay, so host is up or not, is there any latency, and what is the IPv6 other than that IPv4. Okay, this is the IPv4, IPv6, you know that, right? So this is the DNS record of that google.com, DNS record of that google.com. Okay, so from where it is fetching. So then the report will be shown like this: port, state, service, version will be given when we use the hyphen s capital V. So that will enhance the nmap scanning, and that will add another column, that is a version name. So then you will get a more information than a default scanning. So this is how a network mapper will scan and give you the results. So now, so as right now in this video, so we are targeting the metasploitable too. So that's why we will be using that address 192.168. Wait, 192.168.1.28. Actually, let's verify that. Uh, yes, it's the same. So yours may be different. Okay, remember to check your IP address of the metasploitable. Okay. Now if we start that scanning, so results will come within a second. Okay, now you can see here, and I've started, and scan report for that IP address resulted like this. Okay, 21 port is open. So in this state you will get open, closed, filter. Open means you can reach out to that service. Okay, you can reach out to that service. For example, 21 port is open. Okay, so you can access that FTP of that system. You can access SSH of that system. Open will make you aware that you can access that. Closed means it is blocked by the firewall, that you can't access it. Okay, and then filtered, in the Linux system sometimes what happens, it shows a, so if it is a Linux system, sometimes it shows it as a filtered, because it is protected by the firewall. Okay, now this port number, in this, in every system we will be having 65,535 ports. Okay, so among that we will be having well-known ports, dynamic ports, and some other ranges there. can see here ports range. Okay. So in the ports range, you can see well-known ports. It is started from the 0 to 1023 and the register port 1024 to 49151, and then we will be having dynamic ports. Dynamic ports will be used for your personal projects. Okay, so you can access that. It will be used as a temporary ports. Okay, so register ports are for some apps and databases. Okay, now so we have completed the first scan, that is the default scan, and map space IP address. Now we'll be continue with the scanning. First IPA we'll start with that for fifth one, right? So now, so what happened here? Verify your own network. Okay, we'll do that first. Okay, so IPA. IPA will show you IP address. Okay, loopback address is system address. It's not the IP address of the network. So ETH0 is your IP address. So 192.168.1.7. 1.7 is your Kali Linux address. Okay, Kali Linux address. 1.28 that we got for Metasploitable. Okay. Now next next we will be having ping. So whether the target is alive or not, we will need to check that by ping command. So we will be using the IP address of the uh, Metasploitable 68.1.28. Now you can see that three ICMP protocols, ICMP protocol props is sent to the target, and we got to know that it's alive. So it's alive. Nothing is lost here. Okay. Now next step, nmap hyphen s n. So here it will find out all the, so it sends the props to the this thing. Right now they have used a /24. You don't need to do that. It will scan all the uh, hosts that are there in this IP subnet. Okay, so you just try the IP address hyphen sn. Okay, hyphen sn will do the same thing like this one. Okay, ping, it will show you same result. And map hyphen sn will send the props to the 192.168.1.28, that is the Metasploit. Well, so now you can see here is sent the props, and it got to know that host is up. Okay, this for this result, for this result only we are using this command to know the thing. Okay, now again we'll get back to the menu. Now standard port scanning. Okay, nmap, uh, as we did that, top 1000 ports will be scanned and it will be resulted. And next scanning, nmap space IP address will scan it defaultly, and next scanning is full port scan. huh. Full port scan. So let's learn about the hyphen p. Okay, so hyphen p, it makes the port ranges. For example, I will do one thing, hyphen p 1 to 100. So this will scan the this address, and it will result the ports that are there in the 1 to 100 range. For example, it starts with the 1 and checks it. So is there any port services that are there in the network? And if it is, it will result here, and then go to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 like that, and till 100. And if it is there, then this will be listed here till 100. Now you can see 94 closed ports are there, okay, and open ports are given here. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 ports are given here. Now hyphen p hyphen will scan 65,535. Oops. Okay, you can see here 65,505 are closed and remaining are given here. Okay, so those are listed here. Those which are open are listed here. Okay. As we know that hyphen p hyphen will result all the ports with the service. So we'll jump to next one. Okay. So you can specifically target a one port, or else you can mention the multiple ports. You can range the port, or else you can range the topmost ports that is given here. Okay, and then hyphen s capital V. Hyphen s capital V will add another column to the well-known. Right now it's a default well-known port exploration or enumeration. Hyphen s capital V will add the service names. Okay, 21 port have ESFTPD, 22 have OpenSSH 4.7. Like this, all the result of that metasploitable 2. Okay, so these all ports are actually vulnerable ports. Okay, so these ports will be used in the penetration testing. That is a fourth experiment. Okay. So now, actually, in the fifth experiment, we are just learning about the nmap. So how this will enhance the results. So just by adding some more keywords. Right now, hyphen p hyphen will scan all, hyphen s capital V will add a version column. So to get to know that thing, and then we will have, now you can see here hyphen sv that will send the probes to open ports and determine service names and version number. Okay. Then here hyphen o is there. Hyphen o will result you operating system detection. Instead of, now you can see here operating system detection. Here also, okay. Now it is resulted. Now you can see here that at last operating system CPE. This is resulted kernel version, and operating system details Linux system from this to this version. It doesn't precisely give you, or sorry, accurately give you the result. Tries to be precise. Okay, so but it guesses that it's not a correct one. So it guesses. So which operating system it is. So right now you got IP address of any system. Assume that as a hacker, so you got a IP address. Okay. So for Windows, you will have different commands. For Debian based Linux, you will have different commands. Arch Linux, you will have different commands. So to know that, this will come in very handy. So if any case hyphen O is used in the network scanning, so that will show you, if it is a Windows, it will show the Windows. Okay. So then your commands will be changed according to that. So that's the reason we need to guess the operating system of any target. So next we have aggressive all-in-one scan. that is a hyphen A, that will aggressively scan all the things. For example, operating system detection is there, version detection is done, scanning is done, trace route is done in only one command. Okay, now you can see the result. So this will result you all the vulnerabilities that are there in the result, sorry, in the services that are listed in the result. For example, now hyphen A. So what we will do now, hyphen P hyphen we will use because to scan all the things. So let it take time and give results of all the things. You can also skip that hyphen P hyphen and directly type the hyphen A to practice. This may take time because I used hyphen P hyphen. Until that, so hyphen A will scan the default ports and hyphen P hyphen scan all the ports. So now these are the extra things you can go through and try to know the how nmap works. This is what experiment 5 will teach you. Okay, so enumeration, and this first we will scan, try to know that what is there in the network, and enumeration is done in hyphen A. So it try to know network deeply. So is there any vulnerabilities? Okay. So is the service version is if the service version is vulnerable, then it will result. Then you can access this by doing this thing, because script engines will inject the scripts and try to know what is there. Okay. Now, so this is done. Experiment 5 is done, and we'll just check the result of the hyphen p hyphen a. So till then we will discuss about experiment number 4. Experiment number 4. So penetration testing on a vulnerable system. So why we discuss experiment number 5? It's a network scanning. In the penetration testing, as an ethical hacker, uh, you will have 5 phases in ethical hacking. First one is reconnaissance, trying to get the IP address, trying to get all the information regarding the target is reconnaissance. Second is scanning. That scanning is done through so many tools, including Nmap. Okay, so as a normal penetration testing, we will be using Nmap. Okay, we are not getting into so many other tools. You can have that tool online, but that here for the metasploitable tool, we will be using Nmap. First, we will check the IP address of the target. So we already know that by logging into the MSF admin and IF config, we got to know that our 92.168.1.28 is there. And here we will try to know Kali IP address also again, and we'll send the prop to that metasploitable tool. Okay, to check whether we are able to correctly connect to that IP address. Okay, then we will be using nmap here. That is second phase. Okay, this is the second phase. Reconnaissance and scanning is done here only. So we will be using hyphen sv IP address and hyphen a also. So what I will do, first discover the version and then we will be using hyphen a. However, the hyphen a will include the hyphen sv. So yeah. So hyphen sv and sorry, hyphen a hyphen p hyphen, here you can see that. So however, we have completed some things in the, okay, now in the fifth experiment we already did this thing, IPA and also ping, and then we gone to hyphen a hyphen esv of that metasploitable 2. No need to do it again. So hyphen a is also done. Hyphen p hyphen, so that is done here. Now you can see the result. Now you can see the result. Okay, so okay, first step by step we will go. So first port 21, here it is showing by script, adding the script, anonymous FTP login is allowed. So here what it is telling, the FTP login is allowed directly, anonymous, for the anonymous user. Okay, so you can try that also, or else you will use, we will use MSF console to exploit that. That is the way in this experiment we have used. Okay, so for SSH, some SSH keys are given here, and for 23, for 25, for SMTP, so SSL certificate is given, and some more information is given like this. So we'll target the 21 port number as per the experiment. So we will launch a MSF console. We'll take a new tab. Okay. MSF console. So this is a Metasploit. Metasploit framework console. Okay. So Metasploit, it is used to scan the domain or a targeted domain, and also is used to gain the access to the targeted domain. Okay, so in the Metasploit, 2623 exploits are there, 1000 plus auxiliaries, 1000 plus payloads. Okay, so encoders and the evasions. Okay, encoders are the encrypted files that are used to uh, send it as so we are able to use the payloads and the encoders at a time and to send it to the targets. Okay, so in the auxiliaries we will find out the login and the passwords. In the exploits we will gain the accesses. In the evasion we will bypass the antiviruses. So many things are there. Okay, you can also use the payloads to hack the Android phones. Okay, now we'll jump into the things. We already got to know that in the 21 port we have a FTP services available, and the VS FTPD 2.3.4 is available. Okay, so what we will do here, we will search whether the version of the FTP is available or not. VS FTPD 2.3.4. Okay, so after searching, so we got a result here. Okay, this one. One thing you need to do is, first search, if you got the result, then use that model. Okay, so here we got a result, so we will select this thing till the back door and right click and copy the selection, use and paste it here. Type use and paste the selection. So this will select the exploit that is made for VSFTPD 2.3.4. So now you can see that it is selected, and you can see the exploit in a black color. Okay, now types show options. This will show you all the options that are there for the exploit configuration. Okay, for this module we will be having these many options. Okay, so payload here, it's a meter-preter reverse TCP. Okay, so we can also use the payload, different payload. If you want, you can use the uh, what meter-preter reverse TCP. You can use the shell. Okay, so for that it's a different kind. For this experiment you just go with the default thing. Here however you need to select the IP address of the target machine. In our host we will be selecting the IP address of the target machine, and the L host you will be selecting Kali machine IP address. Okay, where is that L host? Okay, sometimes you will get the L host here. So by default you will get the L host, or else if it is not there then you need to set that first. We will take another tab here to know IP address of a Kali Linux. IPA. Okay, so our IP address, Kali Linux IP address is 1.7. Okay, so set L host. L host is a single host, right? Kali machine. Now it's a single. One nine. We'll type 192.168.1.7 and next. So we successfully set the L host, and now set our hosts. Our hosts 192.168.1.28. So that is the metasploitable IP address. Sorry, metasploitable VM IP address. You can see here. We'll just cross verify that. So you can see here 192.168.1.28, enter. So this is the IP address. Now again we will verify it through options menu. Now R host is set, L host is set. Okay, now so we need to run this thing. Run, that run will start sending the backdoor to the this IP address and this port number. Then that backdoor is spawned and meter preter session is opened. So that means you gain the access to that metasploit to VM. Means you can access file system of that metasploitable VM. So now you can see here ls will print all the files that are there in the metasploitable 2. This is what penetration testing is. Okay, so we got to know that a 21 port number is vulnerable in the nmap scanning, and then we used MSF console to explore that and exploited successfully. We got all the result. For a meter preter you will be having different commands. Just enter help to know those commands. Okay, and try to understand what are there in the system. Okay, so that is what the experiment 5 is, experiment 4 is. Okay, now you can do this in a different way also. We'll be exiting this thing. The FTP 192.168.1.28. Name anonymous. Anonymous. So password default. So if we say ls, entering extended passive mode. Okay, dir. So success login is successful. Entering extended passive mode. Here comes the directory listing. So directory command is sent successfully, and there is no any directory. So we will be using pwd. So we are in a root folder. Okay. So we can create the actually we are in a FTP mode. So that's why it's not giving the things. So it is also a way to get the login because in the nmap it is mentioned anonymous FTP login allowed. So that's all the experiment 4 is. Thank you.